All right, good morning. Today is Thursday, May 30th, 2019. It's the inventory day coming out on Thursday at 11 or 10 o'clock actually at CST. Now, this shows as a yellow report on Forex Factory, but treat it as a red report as it relates to the crude oil market. It doesn't affect like the stock market, and this is currencies and stocks. But this used to show up as a red report back in the day, and now they just don't really. They changed it to yellow. Don't worry about what this is. Low impact expected across the board except for the inventory. I mean the crude oil market, right? And since that's the market we're trading, now they're expecting 0.9 of a forecast, and we'll see how that plays out as well. And like I talk about all the time, if you've watched anything I've talked about, most manipulated report, and this is why it's so volatility can be very high off of the report release. Now the report itself comes out at 11. I'm going to be very cautious on entries today because although there's nothing, what's good about this one is there's nothing beyond this, honestly, that we need to worry about. There's no Fed talk. I mean, there's a FOMC member speaking, but that's not really going to impact as much as if there was a federal funds rate or some kind of other thing that would be, well, FOMC meeting minutes and stuff like that. All right, so like I say, it's coming out at 11, about 20 minutes from now. I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, so this morning, 2/3 stop is 14 ticks. The 6P targets are 153. I don't need that much to pass FTP if it gets hit, the bell rung. As far as my day count and FTP, how to reset. This is day 6. Excuse me, this is day 7. Trading up against the low. Expect to blow through it probably off the report. As far as the hourlies are telling us, we had a big move up. This could be just a false move and we come back down here, the S1 line at minimum. Looking back here, we see that May 23rd and May 24th lows, and we pushed off the low yesterday. So this could be just or relief rally is what I would call it right now, and we're going to come on down for a while. Or the reverse of that is we go back up again. So if we looked at the Fibonacci numbers, we've hit one of them, real close to it. Let's throw it in there just so we know it is. At the, what is that, 31.8, 61.8, 38.2. Anyway, hit the 1/3. 1/3 number so far. And we're trading between R1 and the pivot point. Now the extension coming down is interesting, right? This can be a pretty big extension coming down, long term speaking. But we'll just use the break. It puts it into the 53 range, right? Excuse me. So we've got lots of room right now to run down to S2, it looks like, at least today. The GAN signal number is 57.95 on one side to be short. On the long side is 60.30. All right, so we'll just move this off. We can keep track of where the Fibonacci's are located at today. And that's off screen on my hourly chart. The 10-minute chart, switch to a 10-minute chart because it reflects prices a little bit better. You can see the last black bars right here. We've been red, trying to go black right now. Green, black, up is black, red is down, obviously. And here's yesterday's extension movement on 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, we moved from here. And so in 20 minutes, roughly, two bars, we went up from 57.44 to a high of 58.53. So in 20 minutes, we moved up $1. You expect it to come back into this range, perhaps? At least that's what I'm thinking right now on the down move. To come back down into this range, that this is just a fake up. People, the smart people got involved in it and shorted it up here. That came in at about 2:30 this morning, right around the European Open. Started driving it down from the highs of 59.70. Four minutes from the report right now. Be back when there's about a minute left before the release. All right, the release is out. It's not a really big number. Let's see what the number was on the report. There was actually a lot more volume prior to this, 0.3 negative. It's almost like a nothing burger. We'll see how it plays out. Once again, I need to wait a minute to get involved, which is bullshit, but it is what it is. I'd like to have been involved in this a lot earlier. With a nothing burger like that, we're going to move to the 1/2 hour stop today, the 11 ticks. Okay, right now we have an entry point at the low. Need the 200 bar to catch up for any long possibilities right now. There's a lot of down available coming back all the way down to here. Expect the market to get into this sell zone right up here. Taking one shot at it already. I want to be careful now. There's a buy at 44. The sell at 29.30. $58.04 is a 1P down move. Watching for high red bar volume. Don't see it yet. The GAN signal is 57.95. We're going to watch it around there. All right, let's plug in today's high at 59.70 and see how far the market. A 12P move down is 56.64. So let's look where our target is right now. And let's try to get this tied into a good number here. We're looking down the GAN numbers here. We have 95, 59, 21. That would be a good move right there to 57.21. So that's going to be our initial target right now. And how close can we get to 21? 21 is is 15 is 10p, 57.40 is 9, and 56.89. No, you know what? We're going to hold at 56.89 for now. What is that closest number? 56.84, 270 down. We might get a nice run and break down. I expect 57.15, 57.45 could easily be the turning point. I'm looking over here at this too, 45, 56.75. That's going to be our initial target right now, 50% retracement, reaching down to 56.75. That's good. We'll go 79. Be 89 on our chart, on our 11p move. Initial target right now. Lowest low, got to hold against that first time through, right? Now we can move to break even now. We don't want to see it come back now. Always try to hold against that first initial up move. And so if this is a strong down move, we should be okay. What am I expecting? I'm expecting the market to retrace all of this crap from yesterday. This weak stuff that went up. I'm expecting us to get down to roughly the 57.14 level, if not lower. That's what we're hunting for. So we're looking to move down another $1 from where we are right now. You know, we can actually win everything at the, let's see here. Let me figure out where I am in relation to what I got to get. I need 32,000. Let's err and say I need 32,100 with a one tick trade from there on in. See if we can win this one today with a big target. That's unmasking a lot of the market right now. Need about 125 ticks. 57.05. See how close we can get to that today. No shit. Fake out. Bad trade here. Playing against pivot point right now, but no volume. Not a good signal. Pausing. Up against the sell line, this would have been a better trade. I believe this is all smoke and mirrors going up. See if pivot can hold now. All right, I don't want to see it come back now. It's either going to break down or not now. Wait for a high volume bar if this takes me out. Let's find out what a 3P target is though on the trade at 58.33 if it can hold. 3P target is 57.56. So let's mark that on the chart. A 1P move, we need to get through this range. That's what we got to get through, right? That's what's holding it up right now, 5,900 level. So we need to see 56 for a 3P move, and that's where we'll be protecting. That's what we want to see minimum right now. So we're going to try to protect that as well. A 1P move from 33 is 07. And a 2 is going to bring us through this demand level that I've got in the chart right now, 57.82. And see if we can run at least a 1P target. Coming down to the low. Can it get through it? I'm almost positive we got a GAN signal coming down here now. We'll have to look at it in a few minutes after if it can break the 07 mark. Notice I didn't change my opinion of the short below here. Short below this line is what I was kept on looking at. Want to be short below this line. So if we can bust through the 07 significantly. Let's go ahead and lock in, or let's lock in 4 right now. Get back a little bit. We're going to go 5 over this. We'll hold a 29. We're going to go trying to catch a 200 bar SMA. Can crack this nut, we should see the range that I have on the charts right now. Here, down here. Hopefully the bottom of the range as well. Now we did go with that 1P move. Next down target goes through all of that to 82. And then we have our 3P target that we'll be hunting for. 56. That's a 2P target right there. At this point in time, we're up 250 where we are right now. We're going to hold the 07 mark now. Make sure we get a positive day today. Just in case this zone here holds. Here we go, down to 2P. Let's hold the top of the zone now at 58.01, 57.99. Looking for that 3P target right now. We made 2. If we go down 3, we'll be protecting 10 above. 56 If we hit 56, we'll be protecting 66, 77 by the way. 5777 right there. This is about how much profit the market's going to give us now. That's all it's about. So if we get to 56, we'll be protecting 67. $2P is 82. Coming down to 89. I'm protecting the bottom of this range now. I don't want to see it come back up here into the sell range. We'll go one tick above it. That'd be 90, 91. If I had two contracts, I would be using a second contract on the 200 bar SMA line, but I'm trying to get as much profit as I can on this trade, expecting the market to go a 3P down from our entry point, which bring it down to 56. And that's really close to the S1 line, so that's what I'm expecting. Getting down here to the S1 line. Well, that's 66. 56 is down here. Excuse me. You can't even see anymore. That's what happens when you get older. Can't see as well. That's 56 is right there. Going ahead and protecting 89. This is high volume bar right now on the red side. Take as much as we can. You know what? Let's go 91. 91's okay. $152 at 70. S1 line. Expect a bounce at S1. That'd be plus 40 at 93. That's okay. I can live with that on the trade. Plus 40 on 93. Looking for us to continue to make this move down here. We'll be holding about this break line right below this break line. If we can get down past where we are right now at 72, we'll be about 76, 77. I'm going to move all the way down here if we can break 72. Locking in a little bit extra because this might be the all she wrote to the down right now. So I want to see 72 get broke. Big number, 5777. All right, we're going to protect 79 now. That might be all she wrote to the down right there. It's trying to bottom out temporarily. Hopefully there's a lot more down available. That's a 3P target right there at 56. Let's hold the big number, 5777. We don't want to see that now. Let's go one tick above it at 78. Ah, heck with it. 2 ticks above. S1 line here is trying to hold. And out. Okay, got to clear out that trade because I screwed up something. Flatten. Net out 35 ticks on the day. Getting closer to the 32,000 mark. Didn't get nearly as much as I wanted, but hey, we're closing in. New high. One day at a time, man. Wish I could have hit it today, though. Plus 35 ticks on 4 trades. New account high as well at 31,289. 30. Followed our plan of shorten the damn thing. I don't think the market's done going down. But what do I know? At this point, lowest low comes up here. Add 10 ticks from this until we have a good significant movement. Looks like 5805. Don't like being on the 5s and 0s, so we'll hold the second trailing contract would be sitting at 5806 now until we get a significant retracement. Wanted to take as much profit as I could on that trade. Got pretty close to the 200 bar line as it came down here. And we were playing up against the S1. So I wanted to make sure if this was where we turned around, I wanted to get it. As far as what the hourly charts look like, this is what the market came back into this range right here. This could be, and you got this shooting star right here, right? And that's right on top of where the low is right now. So that might be all she wrote for now. And it might just bottom out right around this area. So I was paying attention to what my hourly charts were telling me and the congestion area that was in front of it. So I believed that we could get into this congestion area, and we did. So I took as much as I could. I was hoping we get the bottom of the congestion area on the fall. And it wouldn't have looked back at the S1 line. I was hoping it would just push through the S1 and keep falling, but it didn't do that at time of trade. Though I believe it still has a lot more down, yeah. But on one contract, I want to try to take as much profit as I can and move on. Second contract is where you can trail a little bit better. So this will be the, if we can make a new low, this would be your new, you finally would have a mark here. Well, now it's going higher. And then we could add 5 ticks to it. So right now, stop on everything is 58.06. If I was trailing behind it with the second contract, this keeps me out of playing the long side on a non-movement, on a down day. Just like yesterday, the market went up $2, but I didn't catch any of it. I was already done trading. Now I'm looking pretty smart getting out right this second, but who knows? I do have one trade available if I want it, and that'd make me up plus 25 ticks if I lost. Now we are going to move. I don't know how much down this has now since it's hit the bottom of the barrel. So it's pretty dangerous right now to trade this. But I do want to shift this down to a 3p move here. More along the lines of tomorrow. Right now a half hour is 11. 3p target is 77. That's more along the lines of tomorrow's trading for Friday. It's the double-edged sword of high volatility right now, right? We're up over 2.08 on the ADR. And we tried to protect as best we could against the negative, right? I was down minus 19 before I was able to pull ahead. Along those ways, I had one break-even trade, and I took a minus 10 and a minus 9, or maybe my break-even trade I got plus 1 maybe. I think I can't remember how it all went down, but you can see I basically had a break-even trade, 2 losses, and 1 big winner. That's kind of the way I trade. Well, I tell you what, our air went out and busted, and we have to get it fixed. It's supposed to be, hopefully, we're on the schedule for June 5th, June 6th. You got a break in the weather right now. I got a fan on in the background, if that's the noise you're hearing, and me talking up over that fan. So now we do have, I would consider this a minor retracement. 5 over that is 58.03. So we could actually say right now we don't want the market to get to 58.03. Officially, we went down 2p off the trade. Didn't make 3 yet. So we took as much as we could on the trade. And that was up against, and that's basically because we were up against the S1 line. And like I talked about, we were at the bottom of this congestion area that could turn the frickin' market around. Or top, excuse me. The top of the congestion area. The bottom would have been down here. The top of the congestion area. That's why I jumped out of the trade. Back into another buying area, demand area. I look at it as support and resistance. So sell below, buy above. So this is really your buy above line, above the 5801 line. And this is your dead zone. Dead zone, I don't like trading dead zone on the longs, but I will trade a short into the dead zone. Now you don't want to trade this with no volume, in my humble opinion. This ends up being highest volume bar overall too, by the way, right inside this congestion area. You see there's interest right there at the 57.96 level. So we can actually further define this. This is a significant spot that you expect the market to be able to get to. Well, the good news is we'll be able to get rid of the other two lines against this line now, it looks like. Or I can't remember, that might be some 3,000 bars. Yeah, those were 3,000 bars from that other trading day. See what else we see too on the high volume side, if anything. We got this at 10 o'clock. That was the release, right? 2005. Oh, that's what we marked that one. This was the release itself, and all three of these together. You can add those up and figure out what the true bar was. What volume got shifted in 1 minute. So 1222 plus 1215 plus 2005. 4,442 volume got traded right here at the pivot line. That's kind of why we struggled to come down to start with. All right, what did I just do? I think I hit the 95 off, didn't I? That's another bad thing about this stupid thing sometimes. If you put your line in just at the wrong area, it'll pick it up and move it. If there was an area that I wanted to short, it'd have been the 95 mark. Maybe underneath this. These minor highs would help a little bit. Let us move to 5801. I would probably argue to say that we could probably use this one here now. We'll be right at 5801. Now I wouldn't want to be on right on that line, so I'd still say 5802, 5803 until we break through. All right, I'm going to pause here. until we either run our 3P target or get knocked out. I mean getting knocked out on that 10-second contract. It keeps me away from buying bad longs. So I'm starting to see that the white lines definitely make sense. And you can see that there was a lot of interest right here. So there was a lot of interest to get the market back to at least this level because of this high volume spike and where it ended. Now, the way I've marked the white lines is on the reds, I find where that red bar ends against the volume spike itself, which is right here. The blues is reverse this. If this is a blue one, blue line, actually let's go back to a blue and I'll show you exactly what I did to mark the chart. Because I did mark it at the 50, I think, is this the high one? Yeah. So the blue is the exact opposite of that. See this? So basically what it means is, you know, you want to be selling underneath that. So if I was up at 230, that would have been a nice trade. Look at this European open right here. People ask me, can you trade, you know, I would argue that you could have traded the European Open when you get shit like this, man. You'd have just looked at a 1, 2, 3. Look at this beautiful setup. Look at this setup from last night, my time. So you want to be short right about here, and you could have carried that son of a gun from the 59. What was that? 58. 59, 56, and now we're trading 64, 63. If you could have held this overnight and not have to worry about TopStepTrader and their rules, so you'd had to clear out. So where you'd had to clear out at 10, which had been on the pivot. So if you were at TopStepTrader, you possibly could have got right around there and got 120 ticks. You had to clear out in front of the CL inventory report, but you would have been setting up 120 ticks if you're trading the overnights. And those are people that are out there in Germany and England and France and all the other places that watch me. Man, look at that right there. Yeah, the crude oil market can be very powerful if it's your time zone and that's your morning. And this is my early morning. 2:30 here is 3:30 my time. You know, I want to sleep then. I don't want to be awake at that point, but maybe I should be. I've debated about that for a long time. If I had my own company, which I do, my capital management, and I started managing money again, I would have a trader in the overnights, my overnight. That's how powerful it is. You kind of almost want to have a trader available for 24 hours a day, just in case something like this happens. So you had 3 traders, 8-hour shifts. You know, that's kind of the way you'd look at it. The dull time would probably be the afternoon traders, going from you know, say 3 to 11 p.m. That'd probably be the dull time. You'd have to figure out how to work the time zones, but you know, there's certainly something to be said about it. Really nice setup there. Let's look and see what the market's doing finally. Went down to the S1 line, not through it, and we still haven't run officially. We have not run the 3P target, although we do get a new low right here. And we have a new minor high as well, allowing us to come down on it if we want to. I'd argue that you want to be 10 ticks over this right now. So I would be roughly at 84 now. I still want to be above the 200 bar line, holding. That's a tough retracement to be in if you're only trading one, though. The reward of it is that you got this side of it. Now, question is, if I'm not down minus 19, do I hold it? Yeah, I think I held. I would have held, and I would have held the blue bar. If I would have had a one trade win, I would probably have traded a little bit differently, trying for the bottom targets, especially looking for that 3P target before I got really close to the market. With a one trade win, I'd be looking at right now where I am right now. $10.30 was my exit right here. Took as much as I could against the S1 line. Gonna pause. We finally broke the 3P mark right there. All right, so the trade itself did run its 3P target before. If you would have really trailed it behind the way I like to trail it without the loss side of it, now that we're at 3P, it's like, what do you want to do? I really want to not see the 200 bar get hit now. So I would come right on top of the 200 bar after 3P. And I would take as much as this market will allow to give me. I wouldn't want to be above this right here, though. So I'd go 5 ticks over this, and we'd hold 79. So right now, that would be my exit point. In a loss situation, which I was, if it would have ran 56, I'd have held 67. I'd have made sure to take as much of this profit as I could have. So being in a loss situation that I was, if I'd have got lucky enough that it would have run, that's where my stop would have been. I wouldn't want to be on an even number, so I'd be one above it, and I'd come out at 67. In a loss situation, it would run a 3P target. So pretend that none of this happened and we just hit the 3P target. This is how I would have handled my loss situation. So I'd ended up getting, if it knocked me out at 67, I'd end up getting another 12 ticks on top of what I was, another $100. Right now, I believe the momentum of the down has stopped for at least a while. And therefore, you want to take as much profit as you can. Like I talked about, this CLPIT strategy was designed to grab 3P originally. It doesn't matter, you know, oh, well, you want to go 20, 40, 60. No, today, man, you wanted 25, 51, 76, 77 ticks. So it was worth about 77 ticks if you could have held the whole damn thing and take it out. 76, 77 ticks. It's based upon the ADR number. And by the way, we did go through the GAN number at 95 today too. That's kind of interesting if you want to think about it another way. 57.95 is the Gann number, and that also is where the big number got traded today too, on the other side, right? On this down move right here, the Gann number gets hit, and we have our big bar. So there was some people, people ask me, why do you use it? Well, because other traders look at it. So know where your other traders are located, right? Know where your Gann traders are, know where your Fibonacci traders are, and how you can take advantage of that situation. There's 67, so my loss situation would have been over. If I would have been lucky enough, that would have been my exit. To hold a 3P target, that's where I would have exited this trade. And the only other thing was left to be the trailer, holding at 79. Pausing. Don't be scared to sell the low, right? The low to this whole movement before all this happened, what was that low, right? 58.58. Where is it? There it is. And where is our low now? 57.54. Now I'd be scared to sell the low, but I wouldn't be scared to sell the low where we were. We still had room for it to run, at least with the Gann numbers. You can see we went down. Right now we can say that the Gann signal, there's some interest in around the 190-degree angle, also around the S1 level, right? It's amazing how all this stuff kind of works its way together. And if we look at if we plug in our high here, we can see that on an ADR situation with our movement, we can see that 66 is that level. So you can look back and you can always say, all right, well, 59, 58, 66, there's three numbers all together, jumbled together, that are telling you that it might be a significant point. So you have your range traders here, you have your Gann traders here, you have your pivot point traders here, and most likely you have your Fibonacci traders somewhere in here too, right? Yeah, here's your Fibonacci traders. So Fibonacci traders around the 45 mark. I mean, all of those guys are playing against each other. That's know where they are. That's one of the things that I learned from Joe Ross at Trading Educators years ago. You don't have to trade all that stuff and understand it, but you need to know where your other traders are located. And now with the algorithmic traders and the computerized trading, the programs are designed to hit those numbers now. So you can't tell me that, no, it's just computer science, blah, blah, blah. What do you think that they programmed in? It's all mathematics. So if it's mathematical based, guaranteed that there's some guys out there that program Gann numbers, Fibonacci numbers, MACD, you name it, RSI, all that shit. They've programmed all that stuff into their programming. AI traders, all that being programmed in. Okay, so we see the minor high is 74, gets hit again, 5 ticks above that 79, that's holding. So this would be your win contract. If you would have been, if one trade win, I'd hope that I'd be holding at 79, trying to catch all of it. If I had a one trade win, or maybe I was only down like 8, 9 ticks, 10 ticks minimum, maximum maybe, then I'm holding here. At least I'd like to think I would be. But in a loss situation, I'm always trying to get as much profit as I can. All right, going to pause here, see what happens next. All right, by the way, if it does want to come down, the next target down from where we're trading is the 40 line. That's going to hit your Fibonacci traders next. Right now, if it gets down to, this is going to be your Fibonacci traders at 45 coming out of the market. See you in a bit. So here's an example of no interest. I would argue that you need to make one more low before you would have a no interest bottom. You got one line, two right here, three right here, and you'll have a GAN signal if it comes down one more time. You'd prefer to see it get up here a little bit and then come down, make a little bit of a minor low, and then that might be all she wrote to the down. Let me show you what I mean here. That's what I call a no interest low. It coincides with the GAN signal. So ideally what you want to see is it come up a little bit, come down just a little bit right here, and right there is your fourth time down with no interest, and your GAN signal, you want to catch it coming back through prices right here, probably around that yellow line right there. You want to catch it long coming up through here or right above right there if you want a low risk trade. Knowing that we got some Fibonacci traders right now, I'd like to see the 45 line get hit and see what happens there. Now it might be worth taking a shot, just being down 25 ticks with the 2P move up. We'll go after 50 ticks on the 2P move up. It's actually 51 today. So there's your third no interest point. So what I would like to see right now is it come back down here, and then we'll have our buy signal in here with the GAN signal. Preferably see it get underneath this 52. So we're looking for some big traders here on this side right now. We have 160 at 50. So right now what I'm going to tell you is if we do make a new low at 52, I'm going to try to buy the 53 line. But I want to see a new low before I go after it. Okay, there's your Fibonacci traders. That was a little bit deeper than I expected, though, to be honest. I probably should have stayed away from that. It went down a little bit lower. I wanted to see it break down not as much as that. I want to see it break a little bit lower than the 53 and went way on down. Now the way to trade the 5, 1, 2, 3, we don't have 5 there. We have 4. Let's do something here. I expected Fibonacci traders there, but obviously I did that wrong. And Fibonacci traders at 57.30. So I did that wrong. There's your, I caught this one to start with. It looks like this one's more interest. And really, you want to go back to here. Let's do this extension correctly. Looks better on the other one, though, didn't it? That's science sometimes, or an art. It really held the other line, though, so let's move that. It held the other one a little bit better. Will we use this one? Yeah, that was a mistake. I mean, when you're looking at this move that I was with again, I didn't want to see it break 5 ticks underneath this, so I should have stopped trying to go. Once it busted through 47, I had no business getting involved right there. That was a mistake on my end. That was my hope, wish, and prayer that what I was seeing was correct. But once it broke down underneath 5, I should have stayed away from it. So what are we in? We're basically in this congestion area. We can see a retracement coming back up to pivot today. That wouldn't surprise me at all. question is, am I willing to give up basically another $100 to try it on and go up just plus 20? I would prefer to see it come down here and test these lows again. All right, in an ideal world, I would have waited on this and then got involved on this move up with these bars right here. Looking for a 2P move up. If I would have been lucky enough to get in it, it'd been roughly right here, 41, 42, 43. Looking for the market to move back up into the 93 range, 95. That's where I think the market can get to, go back to the 95 mark. There's some interest up there at the 95 level. So you have your 1, 2, 3 setup with the 200 bar line would be to buy above the 50, this was that 63 line. So you've got 64, long at 64 going after the 95 mark. Worth about 30 ticks or so, maybe more. It really wanted to run up here. For now, that'll be my 5 plus 1. Going to risk to be up 200 bucks. Using this, you can almost see the 5 on this trade. There's 4 definitely, and that one's close. So it's very close to the 5. And if I would have not taken that signal right there, I believe that that's when I would have tried the long on. Recognize where you are in relation to where the market is trading, right? Might have to see a bigger volume bar than what we see right now to stop the downward movement. Sometimes discretion is a better part of valor. You know what? I'm at 5 trades. I'm up plus 29. You know what? Let's just be smart here. Plus 29 ticks. And sitting at 31, 226.10. That's going to be the end of my trading day. I'm going to stop this video here.